welcome to today's session. We're going to be discussing doubt. So doubt in general a little bit and self-doubt. So as I'm talking, if you want to just make some movements that will maybe wake the body up or allow it to sit for about 20-25 minutes. So how they define doubt in Buddhism, which is very similar to the Merriam-Webster's definition, or Webster-Merriam definition, it's deluded, indecisive wavering. So it's quite a powerful definition. Deluded, indecisive wavering. When we're in two minds about reality, and which usually leads to negative actions. So, we're doubting something like, for instance, we don't trust somebody, so we're doubting their ability to be in our care, which, at some point, most of the time, people do break trust. And so we put up walls to prevent them from getting close, and some of those walls could be harmful towards them as well as ourselves. So the nature of reality is that we are all, ourselves included, capable of hurting others because of our egos, just as much as we can cause other people joy. So instead of showing compassion for somebody, we might put up this wall for them, and that's, when we're in a deluded, indecisive warning, because, all as I was saying in the previous meditation, all minds are interconnected. So doubt is a thought process which is associated with a subtle feeling of fear, unworthiness, and resistance. So when we acknowledge doubt, we can see it for what it is. So is this actually a real feeling, or is it protecting my ego? Because really, if we are compassionate towards other people, even if they end up harming us or breaking our trust, at some point they were going to do it anyway, but most likely. But our minds are interconnected because we will do the same. That ego is very powerful, and I'd say it's at different levels and different people. So not to confuse this, there is times where doubt can be a good thing. Buddha says that you should question the teachings and the teachers that you have so that you can come to your own conclusion about the teachings and what your spiritual master or teacher says. Doubt can also be telling us that something isn't right, so we should sit back and reevaluate ourselves. So it's maybe reevaluating a job, or maybe reevaluating how somebody's treating us, and is this actually good for us or is it harming us? So it can be a good thing, and we need to be able to make friends, as I like to say, with doubt, so that we can decide if it's just the ego coming in, speaking of fear and saying that you're unworthy and that you shouldn't be doing this, or if it's actually, our intuition that's saying, let's reevaluate the situation here. So as we get into our meditation session this morning, whatever that is, either lying down on the back in a chair or on the floor, but making it, the important thing is that we have a long spine so that the breath can travel throughout the whole torso, and exhale throughout the whole torso. So the shoulders are relaxed. Even if we're lying down, we can roll them up and back. And closing the eyes or finding a soft gaze. And while you imagine an open space, somewhere that's wide open, possibly overlooking other land or body of water. No distractions, no judgments allowed, not even from your own mind. And to fill this space with compassion, I'll recite the 4 immeasurables. May all beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free of suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never be dissociated from the supreme happiness, which is without suffering. May they remain in boundless equanimity, free from attachment to close ones and rejection of others. Inhaling a white light, full of openness, full of security, confidence. Exhaling out anything that's rattling around our heads that's no longer serving us. Let's going to get in the way of our meditation today. Inhaling a white light, exhaling a black cloud of smoke. As you settle into your space and into your breathing, I'm going to read a quote from the Buddha. There is nothing more dreadful than the habit of doubt. Doubt separates people. It is a poison that disintegrates friendships and breaks up pleasant relations. It is a thorn that irritates and hurts. It is a sword that kills. So bearing this in mind, in order to have good relationships, in order to show compassion towards others, it's important to kill this doubt. Instead of allowing the doubt to kill positive things around us, we want to kill it. So possibly just to feel some grounding, to feel some connectedness. If it's comfortable, you can place one hand on the stomach and one hand on the chest as we breathe. So inhale deeply through the belly, the ribs, the chest, and the shoulders. Exhaling, allow it to fall back towards the spine. Inhaling deeply and completely this white cloud, this white light. Exhaling out any doubt, any unpleasant feelings. Allowing the shoulders to relax down while we keep the spine long. Imagining how your open space feels, how it looks. With an open mind, free of judgment, think of a situation you're doubting. So this could be a person, it could be maybe an ability that you have, a job, maybe even the benefits of meditation or exercise, eating healthy. So, if we have this plan to eat healthier, to exercise, to make the physical body stronger, and we cheat, we say, oh, it's not bad if I just have a little bit, or, tomorrow or something like that. There's some resistance there. There's a little bit of doubt. So choose whatever situation feels pertinent. Acknowledge that this resistance is doubt. So whatever it is, if you're mistrusting a person, if you're mistrusting your ability, it's doubt. So label it for what it is. Repeat in your head, doubting, doubting, doubting. When we give it a label, when we give it a name, we're acknowledging that it's not part of our identity. So we're not doubtful people, it's not part of our identity. It comes up based on circumstances and outside causes. So oftentimes there can be a change in environment or circumstances, other people behaving in a certain way that might fill us with doubt. But really, even when people break our trust, there's still the true nature is to be filled with compassion. I would even argue that psychopaths have this ability. Very difficult, might not see it in this lifetime, but at some point they will show it. Doubting, 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 repeating that phrase. Imagining that this doubting has its own personality, it's not part of us. Now, whose voice is this doubt? Is it perhaps a parent or a teacher or somebody we admired when we were younger? talking about this. But maybe the doubt is more visual in the mind. So what images are there? They're people. So maybe an idea. Again, doubt is not part of identity. It's not part of the true self. It's impermanent and ever-changing. If at any point the hands are uncomfortable, feel free to place them in the lap. Again, bringing the mind back to whose voice is the doubt, or what visuals come in the mind. Acknowledge this doubt as impermanent and not true reality. So true reality is the truth. It's something that never changes. So if we look at reality from that perspective, there's quite a lot that's not real. And have you felt this way before and survived? Have you maybe mistrusted somebody before or been doubting your own abilities? And how have you survived it? Not how, but you did survive it. You came through. Even if you made a fool of yourself, it doesn't matter. And maybe you haven't felt this way before, but spend a few moments thinking about how many other people have taken on new ventures, relationships, jobs, and done so despite these doubts. Do we really want these doubts to control our lives? Or do we want to control our own lives? Be the masters of our own decisions. If the mind is wandering, accepting this as a completely normal part of the mind. Bringing it back to this question of when we've doubted before and survived, or how other people have. Now spending a few moments changing our perspective. So instead of meeting this situation or circumstance with insecurity, with resistance, with fear, change the perspective. So it's a new adventure, a new exploration, a new learning experience. Endless new possibilities could result. And even if something goes wrong, we can still learn from it. Is it going to kill us? I guess if it does, do we really have to worry about it anymore? So challenge this fear, this resistance, challenge it with the opposite, you know. I mean, if I think about my life, if I didn't do things I doubted, I would probably still be living in Minnesota and not as happy as I am right now. constantly listening to this doubt and this fear, how are we going to possibly grow? And that's it with the meditation as well. Sometimes when we sit here, the mind comes up with things that we don't necessarily like, the ego doesn't like. Do we run away and say, oh, if this isn't for me, I don't have time? Do we sit with the uncomfortable feelings and grow from it? It's a new adventure, a new way of thinking, perhaps. We might actually be happy one day if we keep sitting and listening to the mind. Maybe not, but if it's 20 to 30 minutes a day, does it cause damage? What's the worst that can happen? And I have a feeling if people are struggling with this and saying, oh, but I might lose respect from people, blah, 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 then let's look at that. That's the ego talking, isn't it? Because if you know, I'm queen of making an ass of myself. And people think it's funny, and I don't get embarrassed anymore. I make a joke of it, and I really don't care. And if somebody cares, well, then it's their issue, not mine. The aim is to be confident in ourselves, in our decisions, and our abilities. And this confidence also includes recognizing that we will and do have things that we're not good at. And that's okay. Before we end the meditation, thank your doubt for trying to protect you and allowing you to evaluate the situation. In the mind, repeating, no matter what happens, I know I will be okay. I am confident, I am courageous, I am secure. So let's solidify this, what we've gained in this meditation. No matter what happens, I know I will be okay. I am confident, I am courageous, I am secure. The mind is wandering away from wanting to say this. That's the ego that's doing that. Elephant trying to trample on our beautiful landscape. Repeating, I am okay, I am confident, I am secure, I am courageous. And as we repeat this, filling the whole torso with this breath, maybe placing the hand on the stomach and the chest again, really opening and expanding the belly. Exhaling, remaining tall and allowing the torso to fall back towards the spine, emptying out all of this doubt, all of the negativity. Inhaling strength and courage to get us through the day and the weekend. Exhaling completely. Any doubt, any unpleasant feelings or emotions. And taking out our imaginary rucksacks and placing in this tool, any learning point, or this feeling, even if we don't feel courageous or confident, placing those feelings in a rucksack and carrying them with us. They do exist. We do feel that way sometimes. This feeling of doubt is impermanent. It will come and it will go. And we are okay with that. We accept it. Placing the rucksack on the back and walking, sailing, swimming, whatever it is, into the present reality, visualizing with the eyes closed our current environment, current reality. Becoming aware of the sounds around us. Possibly you can hear the sounds of my neighbors above me. And bringing the attention to the body, where the parts are touching the floor or the bed, where the hands are touching the body. And gently blinking open the eyes, welcoming in whatever reality we're in. Remembering that we have the power to change our perspective of the reality. Is it chaotic or is it filled with love and distractions and beautiful things, imperfectness perhaps? Embracing the reality. Placing the hands in the heart center if we like, and dedicating this practice to somebody who might need it. Again, bringing attention to compassion of others. And remembering that the doubt will pass, that any feelings will pass, happiness, all the feelings are impermanent, they're not reality. So I thank you very much for